Lourna's tempest continues their barrage on the Great Hall. Within the Great Hall, both Jedi and Nihil struggle to stay alive in the face of this onslaught. Master Sskeer demands a situational report from the ataraxia, and the Jedi on board confirm that the Nihil are firing on their own. Acting quickly, the ataraxia jumps into position and begins firing on the Nihil ships. Avar's blade descends swiftly upon Lourna, but before contact could be made, Keeve steps in between them. She pleads with the Marshal to stand down. Killing a defenseless enemy is not the Jedi way. Avar hesitates. Lowering her blade, she admits that Keeve was right. She lost control. But just as she does so, Lourna springs up, recovering Tarek's lightsaber and holding it against Keeve's throat. Lourna taunts the Marshal, but Avar, now with greater control over herself, reaches out with the Force and pushes her away from Keeve. Lourna is launched backwards and slams into the wall with a sickly crack. Keeve confirms that Lourna is still alive, and Avar and Keeve have a moment to reconcile their differences. Following the victory over the Nihil, the Jedi return to the Starlight beacon. Believing that they now have the leader of the Nihil, the conflict will soon be over. Down below, Keeve and Sskeer guard the Nihil prisoners, and as they do so, Keeve notices that Sskeer is bleeding. But while physical wounds heal, his mind may not. The Macrack syndrome has no cure, and whatever the Council decides, Sskeer is determined that this will be his last mission. Keeve assures Sskeer that no matter what the Council decides, she will make him proud. She will be his legacy. But Sskeer smiles and states that this is not about him. It's about her, that it is time she follows her own path and creates her own legacy, that it is time she becomes her own Jedi. As the ataraxia arrives at the Starlight beacon, Avar is surprised to find Stellangios on board. He then informs her that he is now operating in the Quartermaster's office as the head of the Starlight beacon, permanently. He states bluntly that Avar has abandoned her post and defied the will of the Council, all for a wild chase, but Avar protests. The wild chase was in actuality a success. Just then, a massive explosion from the Starlight beacon rocks the ataraxia, severing communications. The blast knocks out the deflectors of the ship, and the ataraxia is now experiencing power loss on all decks. From the ataraxia, the Jedi watched as bits of debris trail from the Starlight, slowly descending onto the planet below. Avar orders the ataraxia to be docked, and the ship makes its way closer to the falling station. Avar orders the archivist to check on the prisoners while the rest of the Jedi prepare to board the Starlight. Finding that the doors are jammed, Avar ignites her saber and proceeds to cut a hole in the door. As she steps through, a swarm of civilians rush towards her in panic. As the Jedi evaluate the situation, they find that the communication of the entire station has been disabled. For now, the Jedi should devote their efforts to help the top half of the beacon. But as an action plan is formed, Avar staggers, seemingly affected by something. And the Marshal was not alone. The rest of the Jedi begin to feel its effect. Only Sskeer, who is disconnected by the Force, remains unaffected. Sskeer asks what is wrong, but just as he does so, a delirious Avar points her lightsaber at him menacingly. Whatever it is that attacked Keeve and Tarek on Zayas, it's now here on the Starlight. So that is what happened in issue 14 of the High Republic. Things are really shaping up and making close links to what happened in the Fallen Star. And if you haven't read this book, I really highly recommend it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the Jedi will do facing off against the Leveler. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I am the Lost Acolyte,
and I have spoken.